And are you advancing the slides? There we go. I'm going to begin with the inauguration of the Hong Kong Regional Group's Workman Malpass Medal, which is awarded for outstanding service to Hong Kong geoscience. This was the first year of the medal, and Professor Andrew Malone, who's in the picture here, was its worthy recipient. The Energy Geoscience Medal for 2024 and the Early Career Energy Geoscience Medal will be awarded later this month, and the names of the recipients are not yet therefore available. But we look forward to hearing who they are and to naming them and congratulating them by name, perhaps here next year. The Engineering Group's 2024 Glossop medalist is Dr. Mark Lee of Ebor Geoscience. He will give his lecture and receive his medal at the Glossop meeting on the 21st of November this year. Applications are open until the 28th of June for the 27th Annual Glossop Award, an award made to an outstanding young person working in engineering geology or a related discipline. The Engineering Group warmly encourages its young engineering geologists to enter. The Hydrogeological Group's two medalists in 2024 were John Heathcote and the 2024 Whitaker medalist, and Alistair Black, the 2024 Paul Younger medalist. In 2024, Raisa Martins Pimental was the recipient of the prestigious Geochemistry Group Postdoctoral Medal awarded each year to a postdoctoral researcher employed on a temporary contract at an institution in Great Britain or Ireland who has published outstanding research in a peer-reviewed journal within the field of geochemistry. Please could we give a round of applause to the winners of these prestigious awards. And I hope if there are any other specialist group and regional group awards that we've missed, they will also take our congratulations. And please, if you've noticed that we've missed any, would you let us know so that they can be included and celebrated in future years? So first we come to the President's Award. This is where I get free pick of the nominations. They're conferred upon early career geoscientists who show significant promise and are judged as potential leaders in their fields. The awards, as I said, are entirely within the gift of the President. Obviously, I did seek advice from people well placed to recognise exceptional promise in the particular areas where they're specialists. So I'm delighted to present the first President's Award to Princess Boomer At. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. A PhD student at the Department of Zoology and Museum of Zoology in the University of Cambridge. Princess is an early career Precambrian paleontologist who is already establishing herself as a role model in her field. She began her PhD in zoology at the University of Cambridge in October last year with competitive funding from the Cambridge Climate, Life and Earth NERC DTP studentship and the Department of Zoology Balfour studentship. Her innovative research is focused on using high-resolution analytical techniques and novel interdisciplinary approaches to advancing our understanding of the origins of life. With an infectious enthusiasm for paleontology and a talent for effortlessly translating geoscience to different audiences, Princess has an outstanding community profile. She has already presented at several international conferences and has attained an impressive record of academic and poster awards, as well as a Forbes magazine interview. Through her various volunteering positions and many service endeavours, Princess has demonstrated her passion and commitment to ensuring geoscience is an equitable, diverse, inclusive and accessible field. Princess Boomer At, early in your career, you are already showing a great aptitude in your field and moreover, an exceptional capacity to collaborate and support the geoscience community. This is such a great attribute for becoming a leader in the field. So please receive this President's Award with our congratulations. I didn't have a chance to speak to Monica before, so please bear with my pronunciation of your name. The second President's Award goes to Monica Alejandra Gomez Correa. Is that okay? Oh, thank you. A PhD student at Hamburg University and a co-creator of the Geolatinas blog. Paleoecologist Monica is currently working on her PhD at the Universität of Hamburg, where her research project, Response of Microfossil Communities to the Permo-Triassic Climate Crisis, is already providing crucial insights. By bringing together sedimentological, fossil and geochemical records in her PhD research, Alejandra has been able to reconstruct and understand dramatic environmental changes in the marine realm throughout the Earth's history and the consequential responses of key faunal communities. This outstanding work is crucial to enabling us better to understand the response and impact that anthropogenic climate change will have on our planet. Alejandra has been awarded multiple competitive grants, including a UNESCO fellowship, and her work has achieved international recognition through her many talk invitations. She is also an influential advocate for diversity and representation in science communication, working to amplify diverse voices within the community. To this end, Alejandra co-created the Geolatinas blog and supports the initiative Geotraductores, both resources that successfully created connections between Geolatinas and minority-serving networks. Alejandra, alongside your exceptional early career research, you demonstrate yourself to be an exemplary advocate for diversity within the geoscience community. You are a most worthy recipient of the President's Award. We now come to we're still in the early career part of the awards. We now come to the Society's Fund Awards. These are awarded to early career geoscientists who have made excellent contributions to geoscience research and its application in the UK and internationally. The William Smith Fund is awarded to Dr. Luke Wedmore at Verisk, who is at Verisk Extreme Event Solutions. Luke Wedmore is an expert in natural hazards with a special interest in seismic hazard and risk. Since completing his PhD in 2017, Luke's research has continued to give new insights into the distribution of earthquakes, tectonic strain, seismic hazard, and continental rifting at multiple scales. Through his work, he discovered a new tectonic plate and demonstrated that deformation is accommodated across faults in rift interiors much earlier than previously thought. Notably, during postdoctoral work at the University of Bristol, Luke co-produced research with colleagues in Malawi, Zambia, and Uganda, which proved integral to improving resilience to earthquakes in Africa. He also co-developed a new framework for assessing seismic hazard in regions with few tectonic constraints based on mapping active faults. Following a career in university research and teaching, Luke is now working in the insurance industry as a risk analyst at Verisk Extreme Event Solutions. With an exceptional contribution to geotectonics and the geoscience community early in your career, Luke Wedmore, please accept with our congratulations the Lyell Fund of the Geological Society of London. The Murchison Fund is awarded to Dr. Lara Mani at the Centre for the Study of Existential Risk at Cambridge University. Since completing her PhD at the University of Plymouth in 2018, Dr. Mani's work in volcanology has established her as a respected expert in her field and a reputable figure for encouraging positive change. Her work on global volcanic risk and risk communication has made fundamental contributions to the field of volcanology and its implications for society. Her research to identify the systemic risks posed by volcanic hazards and their interactions with global complex systems is significant in helping to prioritise regions for global monitoring, preparedness and mitigation efforts. She is also a strong advocate for greater prioritisation of volcanic risk at the national and multilateral levels, and has worked to better prepare the humanitarian sector to respond to volcanic crises. Currently working as a senior research associate at the Centre for the Study of Existential Risk at the University of Cambridge, Lara is continuing to develop a portfolio of risk communication research. Her work has seen her collaborate closely with international policymakers and stakeholders to prepare high-level policy briefs and working papers, and she has also put her evidence base to work during a volcanic crisis. Lara's work has been recognised with an array of funding and awards, including the University of Cambridge Vice-Chancellor's Awards for her work with the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Centre to evaluate the crisis communication campaign during the 2021 eruption of La Soufrière, St Vincent. A keen collaborator, she has been a member of the committee of the Geological Volcanic and Magmatic Studies Group since 2022. Moreover, in 2023, she co-founded Global Volcano Risk Alliance, a charity which seeks to build global societal resilience to volcanic risk. Lara Mani, you have made impressive contributions to your field of volcanology and demonstrate yourself to be an exemplary collaborator. We are delighted to award you the Murchison Fund of the Geological Society of London. Congratulations. The Lyell Fund of the Society is awarded this year to Dr. Leonardo Pinchel Munoz at the University of Bergen. Despite finishing his PhD just 5 years ago, Leonardo is already recognised as a leading expert in the field of salt tectonics. With an advanced ability to interpret complex geological systems and a proficiency in seismic interpretation, fieldwork, numerical and physical modelling, Leo has made significant advances in our knowledge of salt tectonics throughout his research. This is demonstrated through his development of sophisticated thermomechanical fully scaled models of salt tectonics, which is being used to study salt bodies and salt sediment interactions at different scales and geological settings, and to improve our understanding of fundamental processes on salt deformation. His expertise has led to his involvement in many international collaborations with academia and industry. He also jointly founded the American Association of Petroleum Geologists Special Interest Group on Salt in 2020, the most important worldwide forum for scientific discussions on salt tectonics. He is currently employed as a postdoctoral research fellow at the University of Bergen and has an impressive publication record of over 25 publications in high-impact journals. Leo Pichel, you have made an excellent contributions to the field of salt tectonics and the geoscience community early in your career. So please accept the Lyell Fund with our warmest congratulations. The Wollaston Fund is awarded this year to Dr. Jennifer Jenkins of Durham University. Driven by wanting to answer some of the fundamental open questions about the structure and dynamics of Earth, seismologist Dr. Jennifer Jenkins has produced impressive scientific results with major implications for the origins of mantle plumes and plate tectonic cycles. After completing her ME Sci Geophysics with Geology, Jenny achieved her PhD in Deep Earth Seismology from the University of Cambridge in 2017, with her thesis being awarded the Royal Astronomical Society's 2018 Keith Runcorn Prize for the best thesis in geophysics. Following 3.5 years of postdoctoral research, Jenny joined Durham University in 2021 as an assistant professor of earth science, where she works today. Her wealth of published works includes numerous studies of mantle seismic discontinuities, which have the potential to become a standard reference in solid earth geophysics and mineral physics. Her current work focuses on seismicity and volcanism in the underexplored remote central Iceland highlands, with a new deployment of seismic instruments. As well as being on Durham Earth Science Department's Equality, Diversity and Inclusivity Committee, Jenny is the British Geophysical Association's EDI officer, and where she is currently leading a project on promoting geophysics in high schools. Dr. Jennifer Jenkins, you demonstrate yourself to be a dedicated and excellent seismologist, alongside an exemplary commitment to improving EDI within the geoscience community. And we're thrilled to award you the Society's Wollaston Fund for 2024. I want you to stay here and ask the other early career awardists to join us for a photograph, if you wouldn't mind. Do bring your awards with you.
So I stand in the middle.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before leaving the Early Career Awards, I'd also like to mention the winner of the Society's Early Career Geologist Award. This award is designed to showcase talent and the skills of individuals who are still in the early stages of their geoscientific careers. The event has preliminary heats run by the Society's regional groups, with the winners then invited to participate in the national final. This year, this took place at Burlington House on the 23rd of May. The 2024 recipient of the Geological Society Early Career Geologist Award is Harry Wild from the Western Regional Group for his great presentation titled A Brief History of Salt Dissolution Hazards in Worcestershire. It's really fabulous to see so many exemplary early career scientists today, and it gives me assurance that the future of geoscience is in very safe hands. Please join me one final time in congratulating them all and wishing them all continued success. So moving on from our early career award winners, the next three recipients are receiving their awards in recognition of their significant service to geology and or their outreach work. We come first to the R.H. Worth Award. The award was established in 1955 and is conferred in recognition of achievements in outreach, public engagement, and or education carried out by an individual or an institution. It gives me great delight to present the 2024 R.H. Worth Award to Professor John Howell at Aberdeen University. Professor Howell is well known in the geoscience community for his work in the fields of sedimentology, subsurface studies, and virtual outcrop geology. For over 20 years, John has led the way in pioneering the use of virtual outcrops. In March 2020, he founded V3Geo, a purpose-built website that showcases over 350 3D virtual outcrop models. VGeo is a true community resource, which has made geological outcrops freely accessible to the geoscience community. The fortuitous timing of the launch of V3Geo meant that field-based geoscience could continue after it was effectively shut down by the COVID-19 pandemic. John has been a professor at the University of Aberdeen since 2012, prior to which he was in Bergen, Norway, and Liverpool. He has supervised over 50 PhD students. His impressive collection of over 150 published papers covers a diverse range of topics, from stratigraphic overviews to detailed sedimentological observations, with special emphasis on the development and application of virtual outcrop methods, I beg your pardon. Throughout his career, John has demonstrated his passion for outreach, public engagement, and education. He co-hosted The Big Monster Dig, a Channel 4 series on geology and paleontology, and has appeared on many other TV and radio programs as a scientific expert. In 2018, he received the BSRG Purse Allen Award in recognition of his substantial contribution to sedimentology and his role in developing new generations of sedimentologists and communicating sedimentological research to the public. John Howell, your dedication to public outreach and engagement makes you a most worthy recipient, and it gives me great delight to present you with the R.H. Worth Award. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. I've just got 2 minutes apparently to say something profound. The first thing I'd like to do is I would actually like to congratulate the GeolSoc of London on securing Burlington House, because I can honestly say that was announced about the same time as I was given this award, and I'm genuinely not sure which one I'm most excited about. I think it's a fantastic achievement and a testament to the people's efforts. I'm deeply honored to receive this award, and basically the award just reflects that geology has given me so much in my life. I just really want to share it. I want everybody to understand and see the world in the way that we're privileged to see it, and I just want to share that with everybody. Obviously, any award given to an academic is not solely for that person. Behind every academic is a really great team of postdocs, research students, and then also collaborators. And I've been really privileged in my career to work with some fantastic people. So thank you very much for the award, and yeah, thank you.
The next award is the Distinguished Service Award, which recognises the contributions of an individual by virtue of their professional, administrative, organisational or promotional activities. This year, the award goes to Jennifer Brzozowska. Jen Brzozowska is well known throughout the UK and the wider petroleum industry for her immense contributions to oil and gas licensing and management of the UK's natural resource base. After gaining an MSc in micropaleontology, Jen spent time at Robertson Research in Wales and the British National Oil Corporation in Glasgow before joining the Department of Energy early on in her career. She continued to work for the government in all its guises for 40 years, including when it became the Oil and Gas Authority with the title Head of Exploration Licence Management for 3 years before retiring in 2019. Anyone who has ever applied for or administered a petroleum production licence in the UK between 1979 and 2009 will have had the pleasure of dealing with Jen at some points. Throughout her career, Jen gained huge respect for her resolve to manage the UK's oil and gas resources in the best national interest. The UK's petroleum licensing system in its current form is largely a result of her leadership, and many aspects of this system have been copied in other parts of the world. She also helped devise and implemented the Fallow Initiative, which ensured full utilisation of resources in many work programmes by making sure any unused acreage was handed back for relicensing. Jen's outstanding contribution was recognised by the awarding of an OBE in 2015 for services to the oil and gas infrastructure. Jen Brzozowska, in honour of your noteworthy contributions to the oil and gas industry and management of the UK's natural resource base, please accept this Distinguished Service Award of the Geological Society of London. Yes, of course.
I first saw fossils as a teenager on a family holiday in Dorset because my sister Liz was studying Thomas Hardy. That planted a seed which grew to getting a good grade at GCSE with Mr. Barter as a mentor, who trained quite a few geoscientists, another one in the Oil and Gas Authority actually, leading to studying geology at Chelsea College. Then there was the MSc in micropaleontology at UCL, where Alan Lord tutored me, and then an obvious path at the time to Robertson Research in North Wales. Getting married sent shoots in different directions. I was in a museum for a time, then learning as a technical assistant at BNOC. Selling sunglasses at John Lewis in Oxford Street was an experience never to be repeated. Finally, to the civil service and the Department of Energy in a variety of roles, initially as a geophysicist, quite surprisingly. I continued as a geoscientist for 40 years, evaluating applications and issuing licenses for oil and gas exploration, including some to our esteemed new president, John Lewis. I was involved in over 20 of the 33 rounds to date, organising 2 that were nearly as large as the 4th round, which was the biggest before my time. A small team helped throughout, with managers including John Brooks, Simon Toole, and lastly, Nick Richardson, who understood the constraints of the system when the OGA was formed. Although I retired in 2019, geology is still present in the volunteering I do, sometimes in a surprising way. But there's a new stratigraphic layer of litter, which I struggle to clear. It's sad that the oil industry is now vilified as being the main contributor to climate change. I remember the excitement when North Sea gas was first introduced to the energy supply. So I'm a bit reluctant to tell people what I did, but that's why I was very surprised but incredibly honoured to be offered the award for distinguished service, for which I thank the Geological Society and all those who've encouraged me throughout those years. Thank you.
We now come to the Koch Medal, which is awarded to geoscientists for their contribution to science, as well as significant service to geoscience, for example, through administrative, organisational or promotional activities resulting in benefits to the community. Ian Stewart is the recipient. He thought he would not be able to be here today, but I'm delighted to say that he is online. So it's lovely that you're online, Ian, and that you can hear us here. He has pre-recorded his acceptance, so we won't hear from him live, but I'm delighted that he can be with us, at least online. So this year the Koch Medal is presented to Professor Ian Stewart. Through his teaching, research and broadcasting, Ian Stewart has led the conversation on the geosciences being vital in addressing challenges to sustainable development, contributing fundamental insight in the field of active tectonics and geohazards. After gaining his PhD in 1990, Ian taught geology at the West London Institute of Higher Education and then Brunel University, before moving to the University of Plymouth in 2004. It was at this time that he also began his successful broadcasting career, which has seen him present several BBC science programmes, including the BAFTA-nominated Earth, the Power of the Planet. His advocacy and contributions in geocommunication have opened a career pathway for other geoscientists and continue to help the broad geo-community to recognise its importance. He is currently Jordan UK El Hassan bin Talal Research Chair in Sustainability at the Royal Scientific Society in Jordan. That's why he's not here today. Until 2021, he was Director of the Sustainable Earth Institute at the University of Plymouth, where he remains a Professor of Geoscience Communication. He is also co-director of the Centre for Climate Change and Sustainability at Ashoka University. Amongst Professor Stewart's many accolades are the 2016 European Federation of Geologists Medal of Merit and the 2015 Royal Society of Edinburgh Senior Public Engagement Award. And in 2013, he received an MBE for services to geology and science communication. Ian Stewart, for your enormous contributions to geocommunication and your service to the geoscience community, this makes you the most worthy recipient of the Koch Medal which we award to you now with great pleasure and huge congratulations.
Hi everyone. Sorry I can't be there with you and with all the friends and colleagues that are amassed in that room sharing in the fun and festivities, but I'm here in the desert. I'm sending this message from Jordan, where I'm based at the Royal Scientific Society. And at first glance, spending 4 years in the desert seems a pretty strange way to reset the burden on my geoscience communication interests, but it's something I've done before. Back in 2002, I abandoned Brunel University in an academic world, and I started trying to get television geology off the ground. And it was a risky move, more risky than I kind of thought at the time. But in a way, the award of the Koch Medal today is part testament to the fact that decision back then, that leap of faith, worked. And so I look fondly down that list of awardees and former recipients of the Koch Medal, because many of them are people that I've encountered in my work in that kind of TV geology land work, or have been enormously supportive. I mean, I always got nothing but support from the UK geology community in general, the Geological Society in particular, and especially its current president, Ruth Allington. So it's lovely, especially delightful to get this medal during Ruth's tenure. But as I look down that list, there's one person that I'd really like to single out, because the original plan when I'd gone into TV land was to come back into university geology life. And I thought it was going to be an easy transition back. But in fact, in the short time that I'd been out, the RAE, the REF, had basically created this fixation with research output and not that much interest in broader impact. And it was Mark Anderson that rescued me from that oblivion, academic wilderness, because Mark offered me a job at Plymouth University, and much to the advice against that from the dean at the time, because taking on someone who was messing with the media was a very risky kind of move. And in the years that followed, Mark continued to be a huge supporter, a champion of the work that I was doing. So it's a particularly fitting, I think, that it was Mark that received the Koch Award way before me back in 2017. And so I think I'd like to thank the GeolSoc, not just for the Koch Award and being able to celebrate weird mavericks like me that take these brave stroke crazy leaps of faith, but more importantly, celebrate those that provide the safety net that allows the rest of us to take those kind of leaps. So thank you, GeolSoc. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Jenny and Heather. Thank you all. Congratulations to all the awardees and the medalists today, and have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much, Ian. I'm pleased to award the, hold on. We now come to the Society's Mid-Career Award, the Bigsby Medal. This was founded by Jeremiah Bigsby to be awarded as an acknowledgement of eminent services in any department of geology. I'm pleased to award the 2023 Bigsby Medal, 2024 Bigsby Medal, to Professor Daniela Schmidt of the University of Bristol. Through her teaching, research, outreach, and communication, internationally acknowledged climate scientist Professor Daniela Schmidt informs a wide community about the complex risks and vulnerabilities associated with climate change. With a focus on the effect that changes in ocean have on marine organisms, Daniela's esteemed research has resulted in the publication of over 100 papers, 5 book chapters, and 8 commissioned reports. She was also lead author of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change WG2 Ocean Systems, which incorporates her research and coordinating lead author for the assessment on Europe, a remarkable achievement for a mid-career scientist. Daniela joined the University of Bristol in 2005, where she is in post today. She has provided leadership for the institution as research director in the Faculty of Sciences. In addition to her teaching and research, Daniela is well known for her outreach and policy work and communication on climate change. She has briefed government agencies and industry in the UK, Ireland, and Germany on climate change and spoke at a G7 Inclusion Summit in Berlin in 2022. She has also inspired youth climate action in the Southwest UK through the Waves of Change group, who were invited to the UN Climate Change Conference and to participate in the Green Futures at Glastonbury. In 2021, Daniela received the Micropaleontology Society's Todd and Lowe Award for teaching and mentorship. Your research is providing greater insight into climate change, and you are an inspiration for the next generation. So Daniela, please accept today the Bigsby Medal of the Geological Society of London. I think you should turn it to the camera. Could we have another picture with the... Very good. Thank you.
I saw John Blundy's very, very puzzled face when I heard that I still got a mid-career award. So mid-career is, of course, clearly something quite flexible here. It's a delight and an honor to receive the reward. As a first-generation academic, I always find how awards are distributed slightly puzzling. And so it's delighted that the two people who nominated me are in the room. And I really value the support they have shown by doing that. I have, sorry, I've also decided this is the right moment to get a cold, which is really not helping. So I'm delighted and honored, but also very grateful for the mentorship and the support I have achieved over the years from, again, people in this room. And I hope that I can hand on to the next generation. Thank you very much.
The Dewey medal. I'm going to start that sentence again. The Dewey Medal, made possible by a generous endowment from Professor John Dewey, is a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's given to a geologist who has championed the use of classical geological mapping or field observations, and who has a strong record of training, leading and encouraging others to practice and pursue advances in geology by these means. This year, the Dewey Medal is awarded to Professor Robin Strachan of the University of Portsmouth. With research interests lying in structural and metamorphic geology, tectonics and geochronology, Rob Strachan is celebrated for his significant contributions through his work in field mapping and field observation of rocks. An outstanding collaborator, Rob takes a multidisciplinary approach in his research, collaborating with structural and metamorphic geologists and geochronologists to enrich the value of his field mapping conclusions. Some of his most renowned work has been on geological survey mapping programs, leading on and participating in a range of sheet mapping projects during his career for the British and the Greenland Geological Surveys. The international impact of these projects through spin-off papers involving geochronology, structural and metamorphic analysis, and regional synthesis cannot be underestimated. After gaining his PhD in 1982, Rob taught at Oxford Brookes University before joining the University of Portsmouth in 2003. He was appointed Emeritus Professor of Geology in the University School of the Environment, Geography and Geosciences last year. At both universities, he took a leading role in the organisation and running of countless undergraduate and postgraduate field trips and mapping projects. Through his teaching, supervision, training, leadership and writing, he has encouraged countless others to practice and pursue advances in geology. He also co-edited and part-wrote a standard undergraduate textbook on British and Irish geology. He was awarded the Koch Medal by the Geological Society in 2012 and the Clough Medal by the Edinburgh Geological Society in 2014. Rob, for your significant contributions to geoscience through your work in field mapping and for being an inspiration to the next generation, we are delighted to present to you the Dewey Medal of the Geological Society.
So thank you so much, everybody, and to the Society. It really is a great honour to receive this prestigious award. I'm slightly embarrassed to be recognised for a career-long activity, which for the great majority of time really hasn't felt much like hard work, really. Of course, I owe a great deal to the support provided by numerous individuals and organisations over the years. My father and A-level teachers inspired my early interest in the natural landscape. During my BSc studies at Aberystwyth, I received excellent fieldwork training from Bill Fitches, Alex Maltman, Max Dobson and Dennis Bates. And it was they who inspired me to go and do a field-based PhD in the classic terrain of the Scottish Highlands. So I went to Keele University, where John Winchester, Graham Park and Bob Roach were very influential mentors. Since then, during my academic career at Oxford Brookes and Portsmouth, my research studies have been firmly rooted in field-based projects. Some of these have been supported, as said, by the BGS and the Greenland Geological Survey, who are warmly thanked for their excellent support. It's been an absolute pleasure over the years to have led student field mapping training and mapping projects, doing my best to inspire students with a love of field geology and the great outdoors. As we all know, these field courses very often are extremely formative experiences and lead to these students developing a lifelong passion for the subject area. In all these activities, I've been really lucky to have worked with many supportive colleagues, including Bob Holdsworth, Ian Alsop, Richard DeLamos and Craig Story. I've learned a huge amount from my research students. I've received fantastic support from my wife. I thank them all, those who nominated me, and the Society. Thank you.
The Sue Tyler Friedman Medal is awarded for distinguished contributions to the history of geoscience. In 2024, it is awarded to Dr. Martina Kolb-Ebert. I hope I pronounced that correctly, or adequately at least. Through her research, presentations, and many publications, Martina has made a major contribution to the history of the geosciences and provided insight into groups of scientists that have often been overlooked. Martina was amongst the first to champion the contribution of women to the development of geology in the 19th century. Sorry, I'm going to read that again. Martina was amongst the first to champion the contribution of women in the 19th century to the development of geology. She has also given significant insight into the role of geologists and geology in Germany in the mid to late 20th century and the history of the relationship between geologists, religion and faith. Having begun her career in geology and paleontology research, Dr. Kolb-Ebert added the history of geology and natural sciences to her portfolio in the late 1990s. After obtaining a habilitation degree in history of science in 2018, she taught history of geology at the University of Hamburg. She took up her current post as academic director in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences at LMU Munich in 2020. By pioneering new perspectives through her work, Martina has stimulated discussion and understanding amongst historians of geology that may not otherwise have been advanced. Her unwavering commitment is reflected in her work with the International Commission on the History of Geological Sciences. She is also the current Secretary General of the International Commission on the History of Geological Science. Martina's current scientific projects include the Geosciences in Germany, 1933 to 1945. For your tremendous contribution to the history of geosciences, particularly your insight into groups of scientists often overlooked, Martina, we are delighted to present to you the Sue Tyler Friedman Medal.
I was getting this part.
Here we go. Yes, we can open the box. We can open the box.
Hold on.
And there's the lid. The lid.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Many thanks to the Geological Society for this award, and also particularly to those who have nominated me. It was in this very room that I gave my very first talk on the history of geology. I'm truly honored to be the 2024 recipient of the Sue Tyler Friedman Medal, an honor that becomes ever more apparent when reviewing the illustrious names of the other historians of geoscience that came before me. I would like to take the occasion to also thank those without whom I would not be standing here today, as their encouragement and interest in my work early on were crucial for me to embark on this scientific adventure. Hugh Torrance, Bernhard Fritscher, Martin Roderick, and David Oldroyd have helped me along in so many ways that I'm deeply indebted to them. They have been most kind and generous mentors to me. History of geology has always only been a part-time effort to me, as I'm earning my keep as a geologist and geoscience communicator. This prize is encouragement to press on and to continue research, which is great fun indeed, and a privilege. There's so much still to be done. Thank you very much.
The William Smith Medal celebrates outstanding achievement in the field of applied geology. This year, we are delighted to present it to Dr. Jacqueline Skipper. Dr. Jackie Skipper, Senior Consultant at the Geotechnical Consulting Group, is well known for her work as a consulting geologist in ground engineering and construction. Following a first career in operating theatres and the field of medical crisis resource management, Jackie gained a degree in geology with engineering geology in 1993, before gaining her PhD at Imperial College in London in 2000. Jackie's work has seen her provide significant input into major tunnelling and infrastructure projects, including Crossrail, now the Elizabeth Line, Dublin Port Tunnel, Thames Water Tideway project, the Northern Line extension, Lower Thames Crossing, High Speed 1 and High Speed 2. Her recent projects include investigations of risks related to running tunnels, large sand channels in cross passages, advising on instability investigations on a road infrastructure project, logging of deep boreholes in unusual London clay formation sediments, and input to other major construction projects in the UK, Europe, and the Middle East. She is highly regarded in the civil engineering industry for her effectiveness in disseminating her research knowledge to non-geologists. And although now semi-retired, organisations continue to seek her out for her knowledge, advice, and renowned training programmes. Jackie has lectured around the world and has spoken on radio and television programmes as the Geological Authority due to her knowledge, enthusiasm, and communication skills. She has also provided expert advice in a number of legal cases. She's a great advocate of project-specific geological training for project ground risk reduction, and has done pioneering work in training geologists to recognise and consistently log the subunits of the Lambeth Group and London Clay, strata found beneath the London and Hampshire basins in ground investigations. In 2010, she received the Geological Society Engineering Group Award, and in 2017, she was awarded the 18th Glossop Medal. In 2020, she co-received the Geologists Association Richardson Award. For your exceptional contributions to the civil engineering industry and for sharing your knowledge and best practice with geologists and non-geologists alike, Jackie Skipper, it's my great pleasure to award you the William Smith Award of the Geological Society.
Thank you, first of all, for all being here. Obviously, thank you very much to the Geological Society for this great honour. William Smith was one of my all-time heroes from when I first started to study geology. Well, I'd also like to thank my nominators in the engineering group of the Geological Society, and I'd like to thank Chrissy and her team for running this event so successfully. Well done. I'd like to just thank some of my supporters, my mum and dad, for uprooting me from London to Cornwall in the 1970s. As a teenager, I was exposed to landscape geology, sedimentary processes, all of which were trying to kill me when I was investigating them, and gave me a great introduction to ground risk. To my friends who got me through my PhD as a midlife student, many in the audience will remember essentially that a PhD is a trial of your self-esteem. And I'll be thanking all of these people individually, by the way, if I haven't already. I'd like specifically to name Mike Black, who was on the Jubilee Line extension and Crossrail, who, when I finished my PhD and thought I had completely educated myself into a paper bag, decided to tell me that I didn't have to take unemployment, but that why didn't I start training civil engineering consultants instead? And that kind of led on to my life's work, as it were, and for which I'm very grateful to my work friends and my colleagues, some of whom were making slight whooping noises politely in the back just then, especially at GCG, the company I've worked since 2007, who supported me in apparently radical idea that training people in civil engineering projects at all levels about geology actually is a good idea. And it leads, of course, to improved communication across projects, optimized design. It saves lives, it improves standards, and it saves money. So what's not to like? Thank you so much for this medal, and thank you for all being here.
The medal named for Sir Roderick Impey Murchison is normally given to people who have made a significant contribution to geology by means of a substantial body of research and for contributions to hard rock studies. This year, it is conferred on Professor David Pyle of Oxford University. Internationally recognised volcanologist Professor David Pyle has made monumental contributions through his outstanding research in physical volcanology, volcanic emissions, gases and aerosols, volcanodynamics, igneous geochemistry, petrology, and hazards. By using pioneering methods to characterize and classify tephra fall deposits and infer erupted volumes, Professor Pyle has made significantly improved understanding of volcanic deposits and processes. Through his innovative statistical analysis of volcanological data, he has established himself as the leading authority on eruption frequency and developed the now standard quantitative measure of eruption magnitude. Highlights of his work include his research on the frequency and triggers of eruptions, the geochemistry of gas emissions, the effects of volcanism on climate, environment, and society, and on understanding volcanic risk. David Pyle joined Oxford University in 2006 and was appointed to a personal chair in earth sciences at Oxford in 2008. He was the first academic director of Oxford's doctoral training partnership in environmental research from 2013 to 2022. He's a keen collaborator and is currently part of the Oxford Martin programme on rethinking natural resources. He was also principal investigator of a NERC urgency grant to investigate the 2020-21 eruption of the Soufrière St. Vincent, supporting the University of the West Indies emergency response. Professor David Pyle's expertise has given immense benefit to the many PhD students he has advised and the early career researchers he has mentored from around the world. He has also sat on numerous peer review panels, including UKRI Future Leaders Fellowships, the Diamond Light Source, and the Royal Society Senior Research Fellowships. His admirable commitment to public engagement has seen him write 2 popular books and curate 2 exhibitions, one on volcanoes at the Bodleian Library in 2017, and more recently one on the 1883 eruption of Krakatoa with Google Arts and Culture. He has also jointly led 2 flagship exhibits for the Royal Society Summer Science Exhibitions in 2010 and 2023. David Pyle, you have made monumental contributions through your outstanding research in physical volcanology and are an excellent collaborator and communicator in the geoscience community. It's therefore with great pleasure and our greatest compliments that we present you with the 2024 Murchison Medal.
Well, thank you so much, Madam President. Yes, I have a few words. Thank you. Working in academia is a huge privilege, but much of the currency of what we do is couched in terms of critiquing and delivered in the passive tense. So it's actually completely overwhelming to hear the words of my peers and nominators, and thank you so much. It's not, I mean, I recognise what you said, but thank you. It's also extraordinarily humbling, of course, for these senior medals to cast your eye down the careers and contributions of people who've come before. And in fact, in the case of the Murchison Medal, of course, full appreciation to Charlotte Murchison, who rescued Roderick from what would have been a life of fox hunting. She was a mineralogist and a geologist first, and it was through her introductions that Murchison started his career. And of course, recognition that we have an expert on Charlotte Murchison in the audience in Martina, another awardee. So thank you, particularly to my nominators. News of the award was a complete surprise, and it's just a huge delight to be here in the Geological Society with friends, peers, colleagues to celebrate that. And of course, as we've already heard, these awards are not just for the individual. It takes, as it says, the saying goes, it takes a village to raise a child or an adult. And so this award is for the very many people who've also shared in this work and have helped to make it happen. Collaborators, from students to senior colleagues, facilitators without whom things wouldn't have happened, family, friends, and colleagues, and especially, of course, for Tamsin, Alice, and Dominic, without whom this work would have little purpose. As a volcanologist, my reference frames are often limited or linked to events, places, and times, eruptions that have shaped our experience or reshaped our understanding. And for me, and I'll tell you a little bit more about these in a few minutes in the talk, but some of those most special places for me include my first sight of a volcano in Villarrica in Chile at the age of 7, and a magical return, first return 30 years later, and then subsequently. Of course, as a geoscientist, I'm particularly pleased that the eruption of Mount St. Helens in May 1980 happened on my 15th birthday. And that was a place I returned to within the digging party with Tim Druitt some years later. And another special place started with an extended but somewhat unremarkable tour to Montserrat in the Caribbean in 1998, when the volcano was first going quiet. And that's had a remarkably long legacy in terms of return. And I'll return to these sorts of themes in my talk. So a final thank you to everyone who's provided opportunities to do new things. The privilege of being an academic is that you get the chance to say yes to things. And many people have opened new doors and allowed for us to do completely new things. And this would include, for example, the exhibition and publishing teams in libraries and museums at Oxford, and most recently, archivists and librarians in the UK, the Caribbean, and the US, who see the vision of what we're trying to do. And finally, I should thank also my colleagues and peers, funders and panels, who see the value in what it is we want to do next. Thank you, everyone.
Named in honour of one of the 19th century's most influential geologists, the Lyell Medal is normally given for contributions to soft rock studies. In 2024, it is awarded to Professor Lynn Frostick. With over 50 years of experience, sedimentologist Professor Lynn Frostick has firmly established herself as a key figure in geoscience. A chartered geologist and chartered geographer, Professor Frostick has developed into a multidisciplinary environmental scientist, motivated by the major environmental challenges facing mankind, notably flood and waste management. Since achieving her PhD in 1973, Lynn has undertaken many roles in her field, including director of the Hull Environment Research Institute and director of the Centre for Adaptation and Sustainability. More recently, she served as a board member of the Environment Agency responsible for flood and coastal risk management, and since 2014 has been in post as Emeritus Professor of Physical Geography at the University of Hull. Lynn's plethora of achievements includes receiving the 2009 UKRC Women of Outstanding Achievement Award for leadership in STEM, chairing the government's expert group for women in STEM for more than 5 years, and being the first female honorary secretary and second female president of the Geological Society. Lynn's research interests now lie in eco-hydraulics, with a strong focus on predicting and modelling pollution and flood risk. And in 2009, she received the Yorkshire Post's Environmental Champion Award. She has an outstanding record of research in sediment transport and is particularly celebrated for her investigations of the relationship between river development and tectonics in the African rifts. Lynn has written over 150 peer-reviewed papers and edited several volumes, notably the Geological Society special publication, Desert Sediments, Ancient and Modern, and Tectonic Controls and Signatures in Sedimentary Successions, number 20, part of the International Association of Sedimentologists series. The esteem of Lynn's research was reflected in her appointment to 2 successive REF panels and to the REF super panel concerned with diversity and inclusion. Lynn has an honorary DSc from both Royal Holloway University and the University of Hull, and was awarded a CBE for 2022 for her services to flood risk and coastal erosion management. Lynn Frostick, for your research excellence and a remarkable number of peer-reviewed papers, and for your services to the wider community, you are a most worthy recipient of the Lyell Medal 2024. Please receive it with our warmest congratulations.
Thank you very much. When I was first told that there was a movement to award me the Lyell Medal, I got a severe attack of imposter syndrome. And I'm sure someday somebody will find me out. So I don't know whether it's today or whether it's later, but that's how I felt about it. It's such a privilege and an honor to be awarded this particular medal. I also feel it's an honor to be awarded the medal in the Janet Watson Lecture Theatre. Janet was my mentor in London University, and she saved me many times from doing the wrong thing. So I just wish she could have been here to be thanked for that. She was a wonderful woman, and I still miss her to this day. And thank you, Ruth, who was the 3rd female president of the Society, for those wonderful words. I don't think my husband, Ian Reid, who's in the audience here, would actually recognize me from those. I think he probably thinks I am an imposter. And my daughter, who's also here with me, was here just to see me receive this award. And I'm so pleased that they're here. I can like to give thanks to everyone who's helped me along the way. Starting actually with Aftab Khan, who I think is still in the audience. He was my tutor at Leicester University when I was an undergraduate, and he was a great support to me. So thank you, Aftab. Since that time, my husband and I have met him several times in the Chelby Desert, either going up towards research in the Rift or coming back from research in the Rift. So we've kept in touch over the years. I would also like to thank all the people at the University of East Anglia who supported me through my PhD. My supervisor there was Nick McCabe, who's a previous recipient of this medal. But I was also helped by many other people there and supported along the way. So it was a great place to do environmental science and to learn cross-disciplinary working. And that cross-disciplinary work has never left me. I work with my husband, Ian Reid, across various different projects. And I've always loved working with other disciplines. I always learn from working with other disciplines. So it's been a wonderful time for me. I really appreciate everyone who's helped me, supported me, and also appreciate the Geological Society for giving me this award. I must admit, I feel more past it than senior, but I will accept the name senior. Thank you very much.
I should clarify that the term senior is not supposed to relate to the age of the recipient. Finally, we come to the Wollaston Medal, the Society's senior medal and highest accolade, first awarded to William Smith in 1831. This medal is given to geoscientists who have had a significant influence by means of a substantial body of excellent research in either or both of pure and applied aspects of the science. Today, this award goes to Professor Trond Helge Torsvig of the University of Oslo. Over the past 4 decades, Professor Torsvig has established himself as an exceptional figure in the field of plate reconstructions and geodynamics, has made significant and lasting contributions to the study of the whole Earth. Trond began his long and varied career as a research fellow at the University of Bergen's Institute of Geophysics in 1982. In 1999, he was made a fellow of the American Geophysical Union for the series of classic paleogeography papers he produced with his co-workers in the 1990s. In the early 2000s, Professor Torsvig became the first to quantitatively link the large low-velocity seismic structures in the deep mantle with the surface evolution of volcanism in the form of large igneous provinces. This much-acclaimed linking of the Earth's deep interior to the geological record is one of the most important advances in geosciences over the past 2 decades and is credited with fundamentally changing our view of the solid Earth. He went on to expand the correlation to the eruption sites of diamond-bearing kimberlites, recognizing the unique opportunity to constrain paleolongitude in plate reconstructions for the first time. In his latest work, Trond has extended this exploration of surface geology and mantle processes to the evolution of Earth's atmosphere and carbon cycle through time. Trond joined the University of Oslo in 2009, where he works today as Professor of Geodynamics. He played a key role in the establishment of the university's Centre for Earth Evolution and Dynamics in 2013, and his mentorship and collaboration continues to impact in a wide range of fields, from paleontology to geophysics. He has also provided scientific leadership through roles at EGU and AGU and at the European Research Council. Past recognition of his huge scientific contributions include the Leopold von Buch Award in 2013 from the German Geological Society for outstanding contributions to the understanding of geodynamics, and the Arthur Holmes Medal and honorary membership from the European Geosciences Union in 2015. Professor Trond Helge Torsvig, in acknowledgement of your outstanding contribution to fundamental advances in your field, please accept the Wollaston Medal of the Geological Society with our warmest congratulations.
Thank you. First, I'll thank the Geological Society for this great award. And as I said to some, when I heard about it before Christmas, I said this was the best Christmas present I ever had. I normally don't get many. So we had a bottle of champagne. We put it out to friends. We are celebrating, but we told nobody what it was because it was had to be a secret. So I looked at the list of former recipients, and which is very astonishing. So I feel very humbled to be part. I also looked, there was 3 or 4 Norwegians. And I must say, maybe the most outstanding is Victor Goldsmith, the father of geochemistry, because that's what I grew up with in Norway as one of the most famous Norwegian scientists. When it comes to, as a young student, I was very curious, and I normally didn't hang around with the students, but with the old professors. And I started working with them and collaborate with them. So most of the people I have to thank today are not with us any longer, unfortunately. Maybe the most important, starting with paleogeography, as a young man in Oxford. I was a geophysicist, but the geophysicists didn't really want to talk to me. So I ended up talking to stratigraphers and paleontologists instead, and particularly Stuart McCarroll, which we call Mac. He had kind of retired, and he became really the kicker for me in doing global paleogeography. So when he passed away, it was always arranged that I would start working with his student, Robin Cox, who was the president here at around 2000. And I've been working with him until he passed away last year. So that's on the paleogeography side. On the linking it to the deep earth, I worked with semi-crazy Englishman who lived most of his life in America called Kevin Burke. He was a very loud man. He's also passed away, but he really got me interested in linking the surface with the deep. So I also thank those who proposed me, but I will come back to that in my lecture. So thank you again.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the presentation of the awards. I always love President's Day. It's a little bit nerve-wracking having to read these citations and not completely mangling them for you all, and particularly the recipients, but it is really, really inspirational to hear the achievements of our recipients, and we thank them all for being here. We're going to take a short comfort break in a moment, and then our talks from 3 of the senior medalists will begin at 3:30. You may have noticed in the programme that Jackie Skipper will not be presenting this afternoon. It's not because we've forgotten her, but for health reasons in the weeks leading up to today, Jackie has not been able to prepare her talk as she would have wished. And so she won't be speaking this afternoon. So this will be a treat to come at another appropriate occasion in the future. We're so delighted you're here though, Jackie.